So welcome to Dimensions, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me.
So rumor has it that you graduated from FSU.
Rumor is indeed factual. Yes, I graduated from FSU in 2001.
So have you been back to campus since then?
Not since then. We did arrive yesterday, so we got a chance to walk around at night, so it looked a little different in the dark. I'm excited to get a chance to walk around during daytime.
So you're a classic case of a grad who's done well, who's gone on and sought fame and fortune. So tell us a little, what did you major in college?
It's a crazy story that has nothing to do with acting. I actually majored in international affairs and political science. Thought for sure that my future was going to be in politics to some extent, and that wound up not being the case.
And I know you've mentioned you were very involved in the Hispanic Student Union.
I did. I was actually the director of the Hispanic Student Union when I was here from in 2000 and 2001.
Wow.
Not that I'm aging myself.
No, not at all. So how did you make the leap then from being thinking politics, international studies to being a children's host on PBS? That's kind of like, how did that happen?
I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it, but basically I was a child actor, so I'd been acting from a very early age, and growing up in Central Florida, Universal Studios was in my backyard, and at the time Nickelodeon was in its heyday, and that was the only source of real children's programming outside of Sesame Street. So that was the first channel that was geared just for kids, so I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to work a lot with Nickelodeon. And then I decided to go to college and really focus on just being a real person, a normal person, and the acting thing was something that I did as a kid.
Right.
It wasn't a real job.
You put away your childish ideas.
I did. It wasn't a real job. That's just not something that I thought could actually be possible as an adult and pay the bills.
Right.
So I came to FSU and had an amazing experience, and when I left, again, thinking I would be in politics, decided I would take a year off before going to law school, went back home, wound up volunteering at the high school that I taught at, and they offered me a position, and I thought I could do this for a year and save up money for law school. 1 year became two became three, and 5 years later I was still teaching high school, and decided to give acting one more shot before I got too old to regret it. So a year later, PBS Kids had a nationwide search and found me in Orlando.
But in so many ways, your background makes it perfect for what you're doing because you have that education experience of being a teacher.
Absolutely. I don't know that I could have planned it any better than what it wound up, the actual track that I wound up taking was, it's a perfect fit. PBS Kids thought that they were just getting a really cute gal that would be a good host, and didn't realize that they were actually getting a real school teacher, so that worked out well.
So I know that today we went around, we went to a couple preschools today, and we went to an elementary school, and even though you're sort of an actress, you're an actor playing a role, mm-hmm. You really understand the power of that role though, because watching you interact with the children, you really connected with them.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know that it sounds strange when someone says that I'm an actor playing a role. Really the only acting that I'm doing is really not acting. It's an excuse to get on the ground and play with the kids, and nobody looks at you funny because you're Miss Rosa.
Right.
But that's me. That's the essence of who I am. I am an educator at heart, and I have a firm belief that education is the key to opening endless amounts of doors. And so to have the opportunity to merge both, and it just happens to be in front of a large audience in the television world is a nice coincidence.
So what is it like to be a celebrity amongst the 4 to 8-year-old set?
Celebrity. It's pretty awesome. I have to say that the most exciting part about it is how real they keep it. Mm-hmm. You are very quickly going to learn whether or not you're doing a good job, or whether or not they're having fun, or whether they're hanging with you if you've lost them somewhere along the way. When I do my live performances, it's exciting to watch them go on that adventure, that journey with me during the show.
Well, you are seeing firsthand the power of television.
Absolutely.
Because when you walk into a classroom and suddenly you're that lady on TV.
Yes, the lady on TV. Exactly.
So, I mean, can you see then the power that like children who are watching PBS programs, that power and how it really can help them?
I have had the pleasure of being able to see it for the last few years while I've been Miss Rosa, and now I have the pleasure of getting a chance to experience it in my own home with my 2-year-old and my 1-year-old. Seeing him, as my son is now 2, as he's growing and finding his own, self-identity, and watching him interact with the television and doing the call and response is pretty amazing. And so now I think I'm even more aware of that. I had the classroom experience of kind of understanding the need for repetition when you're teaching something, and now I get to see it firsthand with someone of that age within my own household.
Right.
So now I can transition that into the live performances, and when I actually get a chance to meet the little mini fans in person, it's quite an adventure.
That's great. Well, you have your own little test lab now.
Exactly.
It's great. Well, thank you so much for coming in and talking with us, and perhaps someday maybe we'll have some future Seminoles from your household join us.
Absolutely, I would love it. That would be yet another adventure. So we will cross that bridge when we get there. I'm still trying not to think about that.
I know. You have a little bit of time. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.